Archibald MacLeish once said, anything can make us look, but only art can make us see. So allow me to use this artistic expression to give you a glimpse into my Filipino American identity. See, I grew up and lived in Roswell, UFOville, New Mexico. It wasn't the typical place you would expect to find a Filipino. Growing up there, I just wanted to be one of the guys, but as I look back now, I realized that I was blatantly racialized. In high school, they called me Nigapino. For what reasons? I don't know. It was their way of putting me in a box because my complexity often came as a shock. As I was categorized by my athletic ability combined with my intellectual capacity, I soon began to internalize this myth of the model minority. So I tried so hard to be the best. I wanted to do something that would separate me from the rest. I gave in to the pressure of being the top academic, but instead it just became a pandemic, a disease that consumed all of me, a performance-based mentality. The symptoms? Overachiever and perfectionist. If I didn't get an A+, I didn't feel legitimate. I was taken advantage of because of my intellect, so people would cheat off me, and I had to study hard on geometry and chemistry, and it was a world in which I constantly felt the pressure of being someone who wasn't me. So I came into college with a vendetta to gain knowledge. I wanted to yet again prove myself and break out of the mold of those who came before me. But I fueled yet again the stereotypes of the model minority. I wanted to be a doctor, an engineer, but I soon found the harsh reality that the line of work wasn't for me. I realized that I was trying to force myself to do something that I wasn't passionate about, so I gave up those dreams to pursue the things that made my heart come alive. And as I began to learn my cultural history, I soon became to know why. As I learned about my history and family legacy, a part of me that I never knew existed was awakened. The revelation of my identity. Freedom, ang hindi lumingan sa pinangalingan, sa hindi makarating sa pararaunan. In Tagalog, that means a person who does not remember where he came from will never reach his destination. So history, let me tell you about my history. I discovered my grandfather was an influential educator in the Philippines. He worked with a man named Frank Laubach, and they had this dream. They wanted to reach the Maranao, a Muslim Filipino group in the Philippines, because they didn't know how to read or write, and so they wanted to bring literacy to them. And Frank Laubach, you may know him as the one who came up with a program named Each One Teach One, a program that went on to teach over 60 million people how to read and write. He went to the Middle East, he went to China, worked with Mahatma Gandhi in India, but none of those things would have happened without someone like my grandfather and the Muslim Maranao, who came up with this idea that literacy could lead to social transformation. And so from the Philippines came a social movement that changed the world. And as I began to realize these things about my identity, I began to realize why my heart beat the way it did. And I looked at the very name of my people, Filipino, and I realized in Tagalog, Pili means chosen, and Pino means fine. And so I discovered that God sees me as chosen and fine. And so I'm Filipino, and I'm American, and that's who God made me to be. And as I began to realize my identity, the pressure of performance-based mentality was broken away. So I leave you with this. Howard Thurman said this. He said, don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes your heart come alive, and then go do it. Because what the world needs is people who come alive. So I speak from my heart so your heart would know what it looks like to beat again. So that the dreams of your heart wouldn't be things that you do in your sleep, but the very things that you walk to. So let your heartbeat be the drum beat to which you walk to. So this is my prayer, my heart's cry, that your heart would beat again. That the dreams and realities that live inside of you would come to pass. The time is here, the time is now. Let your heart sing, come alive.